Alright, so this is a ride we did about a month ago, and originally when I recorded this ride, I was going to come home and write a script. Well, here I am at home, and I completely drew a blank. So I asked you guys in the community section, hey, give me some ideas, and I'll give you a shout out in my video. A lot of people responded. We have 16 questions to go through. Thank you very much, and let's get started. Question number 1 is from Midwest MX. He also has a YouTube channel. He's an avid subscriber of mine. Thank you for this great question. You did the engine braking video. You really liked that. Would also like to hear your thoughts on should you use your clutch to change gears. Me personally, I would say yes and no. If the bike is cold or the bike is boiling over, you should definitely use the clutch. You don't want to put added stress on your gearbox. But if you're in operating temperature and you're riding, I've been known to slam gears. I don't use the clutch half the time, to be honest with you. I just kick it down or kick it up. It's really quick shifting, and yeah, I personally don't care if I screw up the transmission because I'm just gonna fix it. But it does add some added wear, but I can tell you I've been doing it for years and I haven't had any problem out of any transmission that I've ever owned. I did have to do the neutral safety switch fix on the DR650, but that's kind of normal stuff. Other than that, I don't see there being an issue. It's a wet system. You got a wet clutch in there. It's meant to do that. So great question, and if you guys wouldn't mind, definitely check out his channel. He's got some pretty cool videos. Next question, Geomac Granddad, your favorite place to ride and why? Well, it used to be wide open spaces so that I can, get on the pipe so I can hammer on the gears. But honestly, anymore, my favorite is single track. It offers the most challenge. I feel as if my skill level has gone through the roof by trying to dodge trees. Yeah, that one hurt. I'm definitely not a motocrosser, but I do like to hit a couple tabletops every now and again. But other than that, single track is where it's at for me. I feel it's a lot more challenging. Fresh Kicks asks, buying new or used? Honestly, new. And here's why. There's 2 reasons. The new bike, you know what you're getting, 0.1 hours, nothing like that feeling. You know what maintenance has been done, which is none, because there is none to do, and you know that when the time comes, you know it will get done when it's supposed to get done. Not only that, the possibility of accidentally buying a stolen used dirt bike, it's a very real thing. What if a dirt bike has been stolen 4 or 5 years ago, right, and bought and sold 4 or 5 times? And you go and you buy the dirt bike from somebody somebody reputable, and he doesn't know that it's stolen. Well, it turns out it was stolen, and then you have to forfeit the bike, That's a position you really don't want to be in. So if you're going to buy used, the most important thing, aside from checking over the bike, is making sure you get a certificate of origin or a title. That'll definitely help that situation. But yeah, new all the way. The Pope also asks new or used, but he also has a couple other questions. What are your plans? Are you selling the DRZ, the KTM, or both? And what do I do to train while I'm off the bike? I plan on selling the DRZ, and here's why. I made a promise to the wife when she got pregnant that I was gonna bring my finances into check. I was going to stop overspending on my toys and start allocating more toy money back towards the family. I am keeping the KTM, and I will be racing next year. I'm hoping to be at all 14 races, so we're going to do a lot of enduro things. We're probably going to put a dual sport kit on the KTM so I can go down the road and explore a little bit like I used to a couple years ago, and not get pulled over. But other than that, the DRZ is going to be up for sale here very shortly. If you're interested, let me know. I don't really do any training off the bike. I work at physically demanding jobs, so I kind of take that as, well, that's training enough, Other than that, I don't really do anything in normal day life to really prepare myself. And I should do some cardio. I should ride a bicycle, honestly. Or running. Any kind of cardio would really help, but I don't right now. Speaking of, Jem O'Rourke, I always mess up your name, I apologize. He asked me, has quitting smoking improved your riding? Good news and bad news. I am back smoking again, and I do apologize, but it is what it is at this point. When I did quit, I was looking back through some of my racing footage at the beginning of this year from when I had quit, and oh my gosh, the amount of endurance I had. Over the course of the summer, of course, my speed has gotten higher because I've had more seat time, but my endurance has dropped to half. We have a 14-mile loop that I normally like to ride on, and before I could do that whole thing no problem all the way through, and now I have to stop in the middle. So yeah, I've lost about half my endurance, and I'm working towards quitting smoking again. The vaping didn't work. What happened was I got stressed. The wife got pregnant and I got stressed, and I shouldn't have. I was weak and I shouldn't have gone back to it. But we're over that. We've had our baby, and everything's good with that. So I'm looking to get back into shape, get my endurance back, train all winter long, get ready for next season. Round 1 starts in, what is it, February or March. We also have a couple enduros coming up over the winter, so we're going to be hitting those as well. Speaking of racing, Ruby Racing says, got any tips for racing? Honestly, I'm a mid-pack, if I'm lucky, mid-pack C rider with 1 year, maybe not even 1 year, half a year experience in racing. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I would say the most important things would be making sure your bike is ready, tip-top shape, make sure all the bolts and nuts are torqued, making sure everything's fresh. You got a fresh plug. You know, if you're used to fouling plugs, get a fresh plug in there. Make sure your air filter's clean. You know, really go through your bike, make sure the chain is tight, make sure your air pressures are right, you know, all of that. The other thing I would say is stay hydrated. Coconut water helps a lot. You need the potassium to, you know, the electrolytes. So, yeah, that would be another big one if you ask me. Stay hydrated. Systematic, Dennis K, and Sans78 say just do riding, no voiceover. That'll be at the end of the video. Graham Vandermark, Apple versus Android. Easy debate. Yeah, you're right. Apple sucks. Daniel Hicks, talk about the declining interest in dirt bikes with the millennials. This is an interesting one because I see it, and I agree with you that it's definitely happening. It's a shame. I don't understand it. I did a little bit of research into this one, and apparently it has something to do with they're dangerous. Well, life is dangerous. I'm sitting here in my house right now, and I could get struck in the head by an asteroid or a plane. So it is what it is. Life is not guaranteed. Get out, have fun, you know? So I don't know. I don't know why it's declining. All I can do is agree with you that it is, and it's sad. Matt Courtney, you could talk about how awesome the Beta line is. I agree. Beta line is freaking awesome. The only other bike that I would think I would have, you know, aside from the KTM lineup, is a Beta lineup. I want to get on a Beta 350RR. So if you happen to have a Beta 350RR and you live around Central Virginia area, hit me up. I would love to do a video with you. So yeah. Randy Bunn, talking about how the Canadian government is now the biggest 420 dealer. Well, I have opinions, but I can't really talk about this subject on YouTube, or else they'll like strike my channel, and yeah, I can't really talk about it. At least in a video. I'll hit me up in the comment section. We'll have a conversation down there. Prowler13 Prowler asks, maybe a gear guide, more suited towards enduro. He wants me to talk about knee guards, braces, jerseys, pants compression, compression shorts, and so on and so forth. To be honest with you, I'm kind of the worst person to ask when it comes to that kind of stuff. My gear is kind of on the cheaper side, and I've been kind of winging it. You know, I use, you know, obviously I have the chest protector, wrist guard. I have knee pads, and I have a jersey. I don't like my jersey, to be honest with you, because it has no pockets. I think that's kind of important when you're doing enduro and you want to carry something deep into the woods. When you're on a motocross track, you know, you're just brapping around, you know, a mile track or 2 mile track or whatever. You come back to the same location within a couple minutes. At enduro, deep in the woods, you need as much carrying capacity as possible, and I really think pockets are a good thing. Obviously, I do have a gator back, or whatever you call them. Basically, it's a little backpack that has water in it, a water pouch in it. Here recently, I've been keeping body armor coconut water in it. Really good stuff. The electrolytes help. I don't run straight water. I run something with electrolytes, and that helps when you sweat. Replenish. At least it helps me. It helps me with arm pump. A neck brace would be especially helpful when you're in the woods, you know, flying through the woods and hit a tree head on. I definitely need that. So I think that's it for questions. I will go into a couple of these subjects deeper. I did want to go into whether using the clutch for changing gears. I did want to do a separate video on that. Thank you, Midwest, for that that topic. It's a great topic. I also do want to do some basic Ruby racing. I do want to do some basic tips, like a whole video on basic tips for racing. A couple other things that I've found, you know, like trimming handlebars and so on and so forth. But we'll get to that in a little bit in the future. Thank you all for the topic ideas. Thank you for the comments. So in the future, I will be doing more videos like this. So yeah, I guess I'm going to let the single track take over and just run the rest of the video raw. I believe I'm on another ride with Bonesaw next week. Things got a little wonky. I haven't ridden in a couple weeks, to be honest with you, because we did have our baby. But we're back home. Baby and mom are good. Back home. And yeah, we're about to get back to normal. Yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Liking Dado's flow. Very smooth through here. I'm just gonna shortcut that. Oh, got a little out of shape there. Got a little out of shape on that one too. A little too exuberant. Yeah, this one's a pain in the dick. I went through the middle of this one the other week, and it swallows the bike. It's actually super deep. Let's see if I standing up helps my peripheral vision around these logs, or trees rather. Yeah. So it seems like standing up helps me through the tight trees because it helps with my peripheral vision. If I sit down, for some reason, I don't feel like I'm in control. Mud bogging. Yeah, so that was an example of just lifting up and giving it some gas. The bib moose with the 505 cheater caught traction and lifted the front wheel up for that puddle. Very happy with that. Before I wouldn't do that, and that's last 3 months or so you guys have watched me go over the handlebars of this thing a couple times, and that's why, because it wouldn't lock the wheel up on command. And I'm sure somebody higher skilled than me could have, but you know, somebody higher skilled is not riding this bike currently. I am, so I need to be able to do it, you know. That was getting a little a little away from me. I'm gonna have to do something here in a second to catch up. Oh wow. Oh, shot me up the wrong dang way. Now I'm really gonna have to catch up. Yeah, see, that helps. Standing up definitely helps with my prep reel. Okay, so that's the first one. So you should be able to make it. There, I would think. Oh, wrong line. These are some deep ruts. Oop.